Welcome to Video Visibility. This is intended for you to have a quick start so that you can make more of your own videos and stay more top of mind with your audience, for your personal brand or for your regular business. So this is for you if you're in business for yourself, or if you like to create content for others and you consider yourself maybe a beginner to intermediate with video and you want to create more of them to stay top of mind. Some of you are experienced with video. I have people coming that are completely inexperienced. So I want to meet everybody where they're at and start from the very beginning. So bear with me if some of this seems either very, very simple or a little overwhelming. And I don't think it's going to seem overwhelming at all. I really want to keep it nice and simple. So my whole premise is that having a video strategy is the best way for you to stay visible, to stay top of mind with whoever you're trying to reach, because it is the most consumed content shared on social media, right? And how can you grow in any way if you're not in front of more people? So all brands use video. We all know that it is a necessity. But the difference is the way I approach it is that I believe how you do your own videos is up to you. You have to do them. It's prioritized in social. It comes up in searches. When people are looking for what you have to offer, you want to come up. And video is a great way to feel connected. And also, if you use videos in the right way after the fact, you can help them to work more for you past that first one-time post. And so that's my intention for you is to decide for you. So you might want to grab a notebook, something to write with, just to jot down some ideas for yourself, something that you might not have done before that you haven't considered, or you just never got around to it and you want to remind yourself that maybe you want to try a certain way. And I just want it to help you. If it can help you get out there to one more person, to help one more person, to promote your business, or to help somebody who's out there who needs you, then I will have done my job because that's my intention. So before we go any further, in case we haven't met before, my name is Faith Dye. I'm a video producer and a coach, and I created Live Well Video, and I've been doing this for about 8 years now. And I first started on ESPN a long time ago, before there was the internet, before there was YouTube, and all we had was television, and we didn't know how to do anything except show up to a TV set. But that was my introduction to TV production, and I loved it so much because it wasn't about being on TV, it was about sharing what we loved, sharing our passions, and that's what made it exciting because we were doing what we loved to do, and it just happened to be captured on camera. So fast forward, got into business for myself, got into business with others and helped manage and run businesses and helped on sales and marketing teams. So my specialty was sales and marketing for a very long time and joining creative teams as well to do what we're doing now. So 8 years ago, someone was asking me for help with their social media, with their digital marketing, and then it morphed into video. And now it's almost 8 years later, and I've had the privilege of helping with hundreds of videos for businesses that are entrepreneurs, small business owners, all the way up to national companies. And I am so thrilled that I've been able to do this work because it really is a lot of fun for me. And I get to participate in that ripple effect. I get to do what I love to do so that someone can do what they're loving to do, so that they can help somebody else, and everybody gets what they need by using this tool. It's amazing. And we all know that it's magic, but how can it help you to do what you do in the way that you need to do it? And so I've since over the last few years gone on to help do some presentations for UW-Madison Small Business Development Center, the American Marketing Association in Madison, Madison College, and I'm currently the vice president on a board for a nonprofit, which is called Social Media Breakfast Madison. And I get to do their live streams once a month. So that was something new that was that was fun for me to do, is live stream. So you can jump in on that once a month if you're interested, because we live stream to the world. So all that to say, I want to help you and your brand, whether it's your personal brand or you're helping someone else's brand. It does not matter. What matters is the tool, and then we're going to show up on it, how it works for you. So here's an example of some of the businesses I've been privileged to help. And what I found was there are different types of videos that work for different businesses and their goals. So there's a really nice choice that we have, and what is going to get the goal, what is going to get them closer to their goal, and what is that type of video, and what is that style, and how can we make it easier and faster and more efficient? And how can we take advantage of the tools that we have? And so I was blessed because when I first started, I started from scratch like everybody else, started with my phone with $100 projects and was now I'm blessed enough to be able to work on $10,000 projects. And it's all because of learning what's working now, what works for that particular person, that particular business. And so I want you to be able to brainstorm to say, okay, where do I fit in this picture? What fits for me? You're going to make the tools work for you. And so I always ask, is this you? Are you avoiding creating more videos, or if any at all? If you think they have to be done a certain way, you can raise your hand if that's been you. I have run into a lot of people who say, "Oh, I feel like it has to be done this way, it has to look that way. I'm really not sure what to do." And so we get stuck, and I've gotten stuck with everything, so I know exactly how you feel because I had to start from the very beginning. And we get stuck because we lack clarity. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Or maybe I kind of know what to do, but I don't feel confident in front of the camera. And that is something that I have struggled with. I started on television, and then something happened between then and now where I had a very difficult dip where my confidence completely tanked. And I found myself criticizing myself. I wasn't encountering haters on the internet. I wasn't getting criticized publicly to my face. I don't know. But for some reason, something happened to me where I got on camera again for the very first time in a very long time, where I still had an old identity in my brain. And so I saw myself older. I gained weight from when I did that television work. And that really messed with my confidence. And it made me forget what I was here to do and what I love to do. And I stopped myself from being on camera for, I was just telling a friend this week, at least 2 years. It was really hard for me. And I actually feel emotional thinking about it because it's such a waste of time. And we don't feel like this when we're in front of people in person. There's something about being in front of a lens that just messes with us mentally. And it may be the social media comparison thing. It could be a whole host of things, but that's one big sticking point that I want to address very quickly. And then also, maybe you don't lack confidence. Maybe you feel very comfortable in front of a camera. I have friends who do podcasts and they love being in front of the camera and they don't have a problem with it. But maybe they don't have the training for certain things, what to use and how to use it. Or maybe they don't have the support where sometimes we just feel like we're in silos and we're alone and we're doing this by ourselves in our office with no one around, no one with us, and we're talking to a camera, but we still feel kind of isolated, right? So I want to help with all of those because I've had to overcome those. And so I want you to ask yourself, is there something here that you see that holds you back? Have you found yourself thinking, I don't know what to say, or I I I don't really want to talk to the camera. I know I need to use video, but I don't want to speak to the camera ever. And that's fine because you can still use video to your advantage. You might be afraid I might not look professional, or the other side of it, I feel okay, but it is a little complicated. Some things feel complicated or that could be too time consuming, or I don't have professional gear. And I was there too. And everybody's starting with their phones, and everybody can stay with their phones if you need to. But I really wanted to try to cover as much as I can in a very short time. So there are ways to create videos easily. And I say, base it on your personality or even just your mood that day to highlight your style and your brand the way you want it represented. So we're going to go over 8 types of videos that you can choose from to share your messages. And they include some of my own that I use to stay visible in front of my audience. And there are days when I do not feel like looking at a camera, talking to a camera, but I know I need to put a video out there. So first, I want you to free yourself from the confidence thing. I don't like how I look or sound on camera. I feel like I'm not good enough. Who am I to do this? The imposter syndrome comes up for a lot of us still for whatever reason, and I can feel this in my body as I say these words because I know what that's like. Or you say, oh, I don't know how to do this and I don't want to look foolish. I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing. I want to say, try to just get clear and free yourself of all that as best you can. And every day is different. I know it's easier said than done, but there are tricks that I use to get out of my own way and to do as best I can on any given day. So I want you to join me and just help get clear that we need you You specifically, you're on this earth for a very short period of time. We need you. We need your energy. We need your style. We need your offer. And remember the value that you bring, that you do every day in person. And the only difference is that we're going in front of this lens. And then the next thing I do is I remember who supports me. I have to look at a lens. If I'm filming by myself, whether it's on my phone or on my DSLR camera, I think about who supports me. Who are my friends? Who knows what I'm trying to do? They understand me. I'm talking to them. I'm talking to one person at a time, not speaking to a camera. So when I'm looking at a lens, I'm thinking of a specific person, literally. I'm picturing their face in that lens. And so if that helps you, or if it helps you to put on some great music to help you get into that mood, to remember what you love, what you're good at, so that you can turn on the camera, do that. There's no right way to do it. There's professional and there's quality. But in terms of what works for your style, we're going to figure out, or you're going to jot down, if you like, what would work for you to do more of your own videos consistently so that it's fun, that you look forward to it, you enjoy it. And then you plan the content around that, because you have plenty of content to talk about, right? But what is the type and what is the style that's going to work? And then we get into a little bit of the tech, which we're not going to dive too much into today. Just a couple of simple suggestions that you may or may not have heard before, that you may not have tried before, because everybody's different. Everybody's on a different part of the spectrum here. But everything really is easier than you think, and everything is figure outable, and there's always somebody you can ask. I get asked probably every day how to do certain things. So what I do is I follow a plan every time, whether I'm going to create for myself or I'm going to create for someone else, create for a client. My plan is always 4 pillars every time. It's prep, then produce, meaning filming, then processing, meaning editing, and then repurposing, using that as a valuable asset so that it serves me or my business past the one-time post. So I literally have that in my brain as a mantra: prep, produce, process, repurpose. And then from there, it pretty much kind of lays itself out. So today we're just going to go over the first pillar, the prep. Okay. And so you might, like I said, if you joined us late, you might want to get a notebook or something to just jot down some ideas if you get some inspirations for yourself today. The first pillar is prep. And if someone comes to me, I would say, okay, what type of video do we need to make? Or what type of video do we want to make? What's on your mind? What's important to you? What's valuable to you to share with somebody else that could be valuable to them? And it can be all over the board. But I've found that the longest lasting types of videos are those that I've highlighted here. Like maybe you're answering a frequently asked question today, something you get asked by clients and potential clients or peers on a regular basis that can be answered in a video form. That's a really valuable piece of content. Or maybe there's a highlight about your brand or a highlight about an event that you're attending that you want to put in video form that's going to serve you as you interact with your network and your community. Or maybe it's a success story. Maybe you had a great experience with someone. Maybe you did business with them as a client, or they are one of your clients and you're going to share that story. And that also falls under testimonials, a success story, if someone has something to say. And then a valuable tip could be something outside of a frequently asked question. Maybe you've come across something in your conversations or your meetings, a really important point. And I see this all the time with a lot of my friends who like to create video. Something came up in an interaction, and it's not necessarily a question, but it's something that you feel is important to share that's part of your brand, or your industry, or your business. Okay, so starting to think about, okay, what is the type of video that I'm going to start with? And you might want to do this for yourself, something maybe that you can work on this weekend. Okay, kind of thinking ahead, prepping that type. And so then we're going to say, okay, now what style is it? Where do I want to use it? Where is it going to be posted? Is it going to be on LinkedIn? Am I more of a Facebook, Instagram person? Is that where my audience is? Where do my people live? Where they're really going to get value out of this. In the long run, over the long term, YouTube is a great place to put all of our content because it's longer lasting. It takes advantage of search engine optimization. So when someone is searching for what you have to offer, your YouTube video could pop up. And then eventually, hopefully, all of this gets them to your website where we can hold a library of content. So it's not the temporary social media platform, and it might not necessarily be YouTube, but all of it is leading to where you want them to go, which is your home, your land, your website. So, where's your audience? And start easy. Remember, simple is a service. You can keep it very simple. This does not have to be complicated. For instance, I have friends who say, I absolutely do not want to be on camera. And I say, yep, that's fine. We can still use video because the algorithm favors video. There are plenty of videos where you're not speaking to the camera, and we'll go over a couple of those. And if you do decide you want to be on camera, giving yourself a break and knowing that we can be a little more natural, we can be a little less polished in some situations, depending on what this video is going to do for us. And then we can still take advantage of tools to make them look and sound better, make us feel good about the content that we're putting out there. So let's get into the styles, starting from the beginner stage, someone who absolutely has never done this before, to a more experienced type of style. So we have the 8 here. And this is literally the journey that I took when I was dipping my toe back into the water of putting myself back online on camera, and then helping someone else if they need to follow some sort of plan. So we'll go over each of one of these independently, but we have the faceless video, we have the cameo, we have behind the scenes, we have the selfie share. These are my little terms, trying to be clever with all this alliteration. But we have the tag team, we have the Zoom meet, and some of them seem very self-explanatory, right? We have real talk and we have the specialist. Plus, I have a bonus one. So let's go over starting with the easiest. So the faceless video. I don't know how many of you use Canva, but it is wonderful for this reason. I love this. We can do this with the phone, but I prefer to do this with desktop and then download it and then use it on our phones. But Canva has a really nice app that you can use as well. But if you go into Canva, go into their stock video library, find a video that appeals to you, that doesn't necessarily show a person. There's so many to choose from. And then if you have just a short, maybe it's inspirational, maybe it's a thought, a professional thought, but adding short text, adding music, and then encouraging them to read more of all the details that you want to share in the caption, so that they're more engaged with your post, and even asking a question at the end or a call to action at the end of the caption will encourage them to interact with your post that day. But this is something we can do every single day if we are just not feeling in the mood to pull up our phone in front of our face and do anything fancy, but we really just want to use video for the algorithm. The faceless video is so simple and easy, and it might give you inspiration to do different things. And you might not even want to use the stock video footage that's in Canva. I have friends that live right by the beach and they're always at the water, right? And so you can take that video at your beach where you are and highlight your area, and take that video from your phone, put it into Canva, and then put some text in there and some music. So that's our beginner baby step, the faceless video. Next, now I want to maybe show myself on camera, but I'm not really ready to do much more than that. So maybe I'm just going to put my phone on a stand. This is what I did one day working on the computer. We see this all the time, right? We see people do this on Instagram, but it's a really great way to easily make content. So you're going to show your face. You're not necessarily talking to the camera. This type of template can be found in Canva as well. So all I did was I filmed this on my phone next to my desk, took that video, pulled that into Canva, and with the templates that are in there, it allowed me to find the one where I could put the text where I wanted it to be, and shared a longer message, and then maybe add questions in that message or a call to action within the video. So people will be more inclined to watch that video a little longer because there's more to read. And then maybe they'll interact with you more in the captions after that. But that's the next step into just allowing yourself to be seen on video. Next, we will go behind the scenes. So now I'm ready to show a little bit more. I love behind the scenes because it shows you doing what you do. If you create a product, if you perform a service, that can be captured in this way. So having a very inexpensive tripod that you can put your phone on and just set it up, and then set the phone into time-lapse mode, showing what you do. Just set that up for however long you're there, and that's a really nice video. And people love behind the scenes. People love to see what you're doing. And so that would be the next step. So we're just slowly more and more showing ourselves, showing more of ourselves, showing more of our face, showing more of our bodies, and showing more of ourselves in action as we go through this. And then next, I want to include more people. And so this particular example was at an event where I did the live stream of Social Media Breakfast Madison. And an attention getter is to have you in the shot for the first part of the video, the first few frames. So they see you. And then you can take clips of the other people that are around you at this event. So for this example, I was at Social Media Breakfast. I wanted to put myself on video, but I wanted to include other people because I want to feel connected to community. And it's a great way to have more interaction with your post because now you're tagging other people. And now you're all interacting with these videos together. And so that increases your engagement, that increases your reach. And especially on Instagram, depending on the day, they say if you use trending music on Instagram, the one with the arrow, supposedly Instagram will show you to more viewers. I've done that. I've used the trending audio. I don't know if it necessarily got me in front of more people every single time, but I say if it's there and if it's a tool, I would say use it. But it's a great way to include many more people in your video, include yourself, tag them, make sure we're connected. And because that's the whole point of this, right? Is to build community and to build connection. We're not just on camera to be on camera or to show off or, promote our businesses. We're promoting each other as people. And so I love the selfie share. I love getting more people involved, especially if it's an event, a local event that everybody is kind of involved with. I love that one. Next, going outside of that, now I want to maybe talk. Maybe I'm ready to speak on camera, but I'm not necessarily comfortable speaking by myself. So maybe I can put up the camera and I'm speaking with somebody else. We're going to tag team it. So we can have a conversation together. And it could be as simple as putting up your phone on a stand and talking together and maybe doing an interview. Now, in this particular photo that I'm showing, I happened to set up my DSLR camera and we filmed a clip, and it was specifically intentionally for a YouTube interview. But after we filmed that, we put up my phone. I took this picture with my phone and we filmed a little clip on my phone that said, "Hey, we just filmed a YouTube episode. Go check it out." But then we tagged each other and we interacted with each other in that way. So it was a twofer. It was both a YouTube opportunity to film a longer interview. And I think that was maybe a half hour. No, I'm sorry. It was like 10 minutes. We were together for a long time, but the actual video itself, the final video was about 10 minutes on YouTube. But then we promoted it on LinkedIn and on Instagram with a short clip. So tag teaming is a great way to just feel a little more comfortable because you're with somebody else and you're having a conversation. Next, maybe we can take advantage of all the Zooms that we're on. If you haven't already, I know I've done this with some of you. We've done a Zoom together, we've recorded it, and we've put it out there, whether it's in long form or whether we've cut it into shorter bits and put them on other platforms. I know I've done this with you, with a few of you years ago. That's the beauty of Zoom. We get to show our real lives, we get to have real conversations. And so this particular one, I happen to be on a podcast with Rhonda, and she happens to film her podcast. We go on Zoom together, she puts them on YouTube, and then she puts the audio into a podcast. It's a great way to talk about your expertise if you haven't done that already. It's a great way to be interviewed. You can interview each other, you can mutually promote your businesses, and you can share your thought leadership in a much longer form. I love Zoom recordings because we're so used to it already. We're so used to talking on Zooms. It's less intimidating to speak to a camera that way. And you can really use them as long-term assets. So I encourage you, the next time you're going to be involved in any kind of Zoom recording, if it's something that can help promote each other, I would say keep that asset, save it, hold them in a Dropbox so that you can use them, or have an editor cut them into shorter clips. And then now maybe you're ready to talk to the camera. Maybe it takes a little while. And like I said, you're speaking to one person, but try to remember that you want to look at the lens, because when we do put up our phones and we're speaking to ourselves on the phone, it's easy for us to look at ourselves, and we want to look at the lens of the camera. So that way the viewer feels like they're more connected with you. So I would say practice that when you're talking to your phone, and then use that content. Like I said before, you're sharing a valuable tip, you're answering questions, you're sharing a client success, you're having one conversation with one person at a time through your phone. And in this particular example, I just addressed using a microphone with your phone, and we can talk about that in a little bit. And then finally, what I feel like is the most valuable type of video content is the permanent content. We talked about, or I touched on building a resource, building a library of video. Short form videos are easy to do, but the long form videos are really going to serve you even more because you can take a long form video that's 10 minutes, cut it up into different pieces and use them for different posts. And so I encourage everybody to start thinking about a YouTube presence, and that, that takes more time, that takes more planning, it's a little more involved, but it's a great way to hold all of your expertise, put it in a library. People can find you when they're searching for what you have to offer. And then you can also embed those YouTube videos onto your website. And then you have that library on your website. And when they're on your website and they're watching those videos, that counts as a view on YouTube because it's a YouTube embedded video. And then if you're someone who wants to share courses, like I created a course and I filmed my videos, and now I have those in a library where I can use them in different ways. And I know that YouTube for some people feels advanced. It feels like too much, but it really isn't. And that type of content will serve you and your business for years. I created videos years ago when I was in a completely different industry, and those videos are still on YouTube. So if someone's searching for that content, my videos are still popping up. And if I was still in that industry, that would serve my business. So you get the idea, right? It's much longer lasting. And then the beauty of YouTube as well, it also helps you. YouTube will serve you up in front of a new audience, in front of new people for you, instead of you trying to find new people. So for instance, we're on LinkedIn or on Instagram and we're using hashtags. Maybe some people are going through hashtags and looking for that particular topic, but I'm starting to hear through the ethers, and I don't know, I know some of you are social media experts on here. I'm starting to hear that hashtags don't have as strong of a power as they used to on Instagram, for instance. And I don't know if that's true, but on YouTube, if you're in a specific industry, even if 100 people are talking about the exact same topic that you're talking about in your video, that's actually a benefit to you because someone talked about it already and now you're talking about it, or vice versa. YouTube will serve you up to that audience. If they searched for something and they found someone's video about it, now they'll probably be shown your video right next to that. And so it benefits you to have videos that are similar to other creators in your industry because YouTube will promote them for you. So when you go to YouTube and you're watching your videos, watch what you see that's recommended on the sidebar there on the screen. YouTube is recommending stuff based on what you're watching, and it'll do the same for your business. So lastly, the bonus. Those are the 8 that I wanted to touch on, but the bonus one, which I know is way harder to think about and maybe easier said than done for a lot of people, is going live. And this was something that was terrifying to me because I was afraid to be seen all raw and, messy and not polished. And I was at an event and I was so motivated and inspired. I said, you know what, I'm going to go live. And I was terrified and I was very emotional, as you can see. I hope this video is playing for you. Okay. But if you can't see it, I was very emotional when I went live, but I was very happy. And that was my personal breakthrough, was to get out of my own way of trying to be so perfect and professional and polished. But it was for a different audience. It was for Instagram. It was for a different purpose. So like I said, the type and the style is going to change. But I encourage you to try it. If you are on Instagram, go live. And maybe you're holding office hours and maybe you're answering questions. People will join you live and you have your frequently asked questions or a tip that you'd like to share. And Instagram will notify your followers that you are going live. So I would say that's a bonus piece of content that you might want to try. It might take a little while to get there. It took me a very long time to get there. And I've only gone live a couple of times, but I would say try it because you never know which style you're going to like the best. So all that to say, I would say if you jot down some ideas for yourself, plan your content for this weekend. Maybe you want to create something new this weekend that you haven't done before. So what are you excited about? What's going on in your world right now? What are you doing this week? Are you attending an event? Have you attended an event that you want to recap? Are there tips that you want to share that you haven't shared before? And people really appreciate it. We forget that people don't know what we know. We take for granted that we know our world and we think everybody knows what we know. And it's so surprising to me when I say, oh, well, doesn't everybody know this about X, Y, and Z about video? Don't you know how to everybody knows how to do this. And someone will say to me, no, I did not know how to do that. And so, we have to kind of get out of our own bubble and realize there are so many people that specialize in so many different things. I do not know how to play the guitar. So if someone was sharing a video on guitar, lessons, that would be completely new to me. So what's very simple and easy for you that you can talk about night and day, in and out, upside down, in your sleep, what comes so naturally to you that you're so gifted with is something new for somebody else. So don't be afraid to do the simple videos, the basic videos. And then we're going to touch quickly on a simple quality setup. Even though we want to keep it simple, we do want to look at a little bit of quality. So I talked about setting your phone on a tripod. We don't have to go out and get an expensive camera. Using a tripod or using a ring light. If you're someone that feels uncomfortable with how they look on camera for whatever reason, if you angle your phone a little bit higher, that gives a more flattering angle. You know how we take the selfies where we have the camera up above? Do the same thing when you're filming. Just put it slightly above eye level. The lens can be slightly above eye level. And that will maybe help you if you're having a day where you just feel like the angle isn't flattering. And the same thing with light. Lighting is amazing. It's incredible how lighting can make or break how you feel, how you look on camera. So if you're at a venue or an event where there's a lot of fluorescent lighting and a lot of shadows and you're trying to take selfies or you're trying to take a video and you just don't like how you look, it's probably related to the light that you are around. And so if you're around large light or natural light, large windows, the larger the light source, the more flattering and softer the light will be. And so if we're in front of a window, that natural light will come in. If you can use a ring light where you are, great. If you can get a soft box, they're inexpensive. You can use those as well. So a larger, softer light will really help you if you're really stuck at home or in your office and you're just not loving how you look. Light will make a big difference. Sound is very important. And so most phone videos sound fine if you're not using a microphone, if you're relatively close to the phone. But if you're going to be a little bit farther away, you may notice there's an echo, or it just may enhance the quality if you have a microphone and you can get an inexpensive set that can plug right into your phone and then it can clip on your collar and you have a better sound quality, because people will click off if it's too echoey or they can't really hear you that well. People don't have the patience for bad audio. If you've ever noticed, you've seen a video and you clicked off because the audio just wasn't where you needed it to be. So I encourage you to just experiment. If you're someone that needs a teleprompter, I have a great app there on the slide. It's called Big View. And if you need help remembering what you want to say, use a teleprompter and practice with it. And the Big View app works really well with a phone because it helps you keep your eyes on the lens, because the words will fall right in front of the lens. So you're reading your words and you're looking at your viewer. But I encourage everybody to practice because you don't want it to be distracting that you're reading, right? And then think about your background, think about where you're filming, what you want to show in the background. Does it reflect your brand? Does it reflect your style, your personality? And then once you have all of that down, your style, your type, you've filmed, now we need to get into editing. And that's where people get stuck as well because they feel like it's a little more complicated. But I would say, use what you have and use what's simple. Instagram has easy tools. InShot is another app that's the app that I started with, and I still use it to edit my videos on my phone quickly. And then Canva, like I said before, is a great piece of technology. I love Canva. So I would say try to upload some of these, all the videos that you have on your phone. Try to upload them somewhere so they're off of your phone. Try to get them into a Dropbox so that you have them stored somewhere where you can easily access them, whether they're on your phone or on your desktop. Then you can pull them from Dropbox, bring them onto your desktop, put them in Canva, and then you have more space and it's a little more comfortable to try to edit and do what you want with those videos rather than doing everything on your phone all the time. So we're already about 30 or more minutes in, so I want to wrap this up. I just wanted to cover, where are we going from here? People say to me, I know what to do, but I don't know how to do some things. I put it all into one place. So we just touched on the first pillar, which is just prep. We didn't really talk about how to film really like a professional does. You can do some things that promote good quality with your phone, but everything that I learned beyond my phone, I do with professional cameras, a Canon camera, and I love it. It's just a matter of someone sitting you down and showing you the easy way to use that, and then how to edit like a professional would edit. And that's what's taken me from 8 years ago to now to do what I can do for clients. And I said, if I can do this for my clients, if I can do this for myself, I really want to help other people do this because you can. But that's all I have for you today. Thanks for joining me. I hope it helped a little bit, even move the needle a tiny bit for you or for someone that you know. And then if you have anything else, just reach out. You know how to find me.